It's early April in Alaska, and even though we still have 1.5 feet of snow on the ground, some of my colonies have decided that it's spring.
Buzz.
They've raised the internal temperature to about 90 degrees, which means the queen has started laying again. Here's the forecast. Does that look like spring weather to you? The good news is that as long as they're well insulated and have plenty of food, they'll be fine. Just know that they consume much more food once they start raising brood. If you're using a candy board, you should be checking it regularly to make sure they have plenty of sugar. Before we check in on some of my colonies, I want to show you what the warehouse roof looked like yesterday. These piles of dead bees are nothing to be concerned about. Most of them are drones that were kicked out of the hives in August, and the last of the fall foragers that died in November. All 7 warehouse colonies survived the winter, and each has 10 to 15,000 living bees. I sweep them up so that I won't track them back into the warehouse. Plus, I like imitating famous beekeepers. This is my impression of Ian Stepler sweeping bees in Manitoba, Canada. I need to work on the accent though, eh? Now we're back to today. I think of the latter as my commute to work, and I always like popping out on top. If you've seen my videos before, you know that I use a candy board insert. It fits right inside a poly box over a Reflectix inner cover. This setup lets me check on them in any weather without disturbing them. This is colony number 6. They went into winter in 2 packed medium boxes. They had very little winter mortality. Look at them chowing down on that pollen patty. They'll convert the protein into brood food, which will feed the newly hatched larvae. In 3 weeks, the first summer bees will start to emerge. My Turnagain colony is a swarm from last June. They didn't even start eating sugar until about 10 days ago, and most of it is gone today. I don't have a temperature sensor in this hive, but I'm pretty sure they're starting to raise brood. I'll be back with a pollen patty tomorrow. Time to check in on my backyard bees with a little help from Marley. These colonies are shaded most of the day, so they're always a bit behind the others. Today it warmed up a bit in the direct sun, and this girl stopped on my jacket to rest a few seconds. Here's a tip for new beekeepers. For some reason, you never have a hive tool when you need it. I've found that my car keys often do the trick. They are my own personal multi-tool. This colony has now made it through 3 winters. Last spring, they were so strong they were making swarm cells in late May. I made 2 splits, one with the original queen and one with a swarm cell. I left a couple of swarm cells in this colony, and they made a great new queen and over 50 pounds of honey. I have no doubt that they'll be a great colony again this year. The best thing about this colony is that it was free. It was a shaken swarm from Joe Dunham in August of 2021. This Buckfast queen was awesome in her 2nd year, also giving me over 50 pounds of honey. Buckfast replacement queens can be spicy, so I replaced her with one of my swarm cell split queens in July. Now the queens in my 2 largest colonies are sisters. Note how this colony barely touched the sugar all winter long. That is a great trait. I overwintered 2 nukes this year. I was going to combine them, but I didn't have the heart to pinch either queen. This colony has the mother of the 2 swarm cell split queens. They overwintered in a double 6-frame nuke, and she just started raising brood for the 3rd time. This 2021 Joe Dunham Buckfast queen rewarded me by making it through the winter with just 6 medium frames of bees. I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do in her 3rd summer. Marley says thanks for dropping by. Me too.